There's a company on this list that sells a car every 3 seconds. There's another one that was basically written off 5 years ago and just became the most valuable car company on planet Earth. And there's a Chinese company you might not even know the name of that's now beating Tesla at its own game. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly who really runs the global car industry, because it is not who you think. This is the top biggest car companies in the world, ranked. Let's go. Quick gut check before we start. When I say biggest, what do I actually mean? Because biggest isn't one thing. You can measure this by units sold, pure volume, who's actually building the most cars market cap, what Wall Street thinks the company is worth revenue, the actual money coming through the door. And here's the twist that makes this whole topic wild. The company that sells the most cars is not the one worth the most money, not even close. Keep that in your back pocket. It's going to matter a lot by the end of this list. We're ranking by global sales volume, the real, on-the-ground measure of who's building the world's cars, and calling out valuation flips along the way. Let's start the countdown. Segment 2, the countdown, number 10 to number 6. Number 10. Suzuki/Maruti Suzuki. Chances are you've never driven one if you live in the US, but in India, this brand is basically the default car. Maruti Suzuki alone controls a massive chunk of the Indian passenger vehicle market, and India just became one of the biggest car markets on the planet. Suzuki figured out cheap, reliable, small cars decades before anyone else took that seriously, and it's still paying off. Number 9. BYD. Okay, this is the one to pay attention to. 5 years ago, most people outside China had never heard of BYD. Today, it's trading blows with Tesla for the title of the world's biggest EV maker, and in several recent quarters, BYD has actually outsold Tesla in electric vehicles. They build everything in-house: batteries, chips, software. That vertical control is exactly why they can undercut everyone on price. Watch this company. It is not slowing down. Number 8. Honda. The quiet giant. Honda doesn't dominate headlines, but it dominates reliability rankings and small engine efficiency. Cars, motorcycles, even lawnmowers. It's the company car enthusiasts trust when they want something that just works for 200,000 miles, no drama. Number 7. Ford. The Blue Oval. Still massive in North America, still selling trucks by the millions. The F-Series alone is one of the best-selling vehicles on the planet, full stop. Ford's story right now is a balancing act. Keep the truck money machine running while trying not to get left behind on EVs. Number 6. Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi Alliance. A three-way alliance between French and Japanese engineering. It's had a genuinely turbulent few years: boardroom drama, leadership scandals, restructuring. But the alliance still moves serious volume worldwide because it shares platforms and technology across 3 brands instead of building everything 3 separate times. All right, we're halfway through, and here's where it gets interesting. Because from here on, every single company on this list has either completely reinvented itself in the last 5 years or is in the middle of doing it right now. Stick around, because number 1 is going to surprise you, even if you already think you know the answer. Number 5. General Motors. The American original. GM has been building cars since before World War I, and it's still one of the biggest sellers in the US through Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Cadillac. GM went all in on an EV pivot, hit some real turbulence, and has since recalibrated, leaning back into hybrids and trucks while still pushing electric where it actually sells. Proof that even a 100-year-old company has to keep adapting or get left behind. Number 4. Stellantis. If you don't recognize the name, you definitely recognize the brands underneath it. Jeep, Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Peugeot, Fiat, Maserati, 14 brands under one roof. Stellantis was built from a mega merger between an Italian-American giant and a French one, and the whole bet is that combining that many brands means combining that much buying power, R&D, and global reach. It's currently climbing the rankings, gaining ground in Europe and the Americas. Number 3. Hyundai-Kia. This might be the single biggest underdog story in the entire car industry. 20 years ago, Hyundai and Kia were the punchline of the used car lot. Today, they're the third biggest car group on Earth. They've got genuinely class-leading EV technology, and their design language now gets cross-shopped against premium European brands. This is what happens when a company obsesses over quality for 2 straight decades. Nobody's laughing anymore. Number 2. Volkswagen Group VW isn't just VW. Under this one umbrella, you get Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, Bentley, Skoda, Seat, practically the entire spine of the European car industry in one company. Volkswagen Group has spent the last several years pouring billions into electrification and battery production, trying to outscale everyone else in the EV race using pure manufacturing muscle. It's the closest thing to Toyota's rival in raw global volume, the number 1 biggest car company in the world by sales volume. Beat, pause, let it land. Toyota, not Tesla, not BYD. Toyota, selling north of 10 million vehicles a year and holding the crown for years running. And the reason is almost boring in the best way. Toyota didn't bet the entire company on one technology. While everyone else was arguing electric or nothing, Toyota kept building gas cars, hybrids, and electric vehicles at the same time, hedging every bet, dominating in Asia, staying massive in America, and never overcommitting to a strategy the market wasn't ready for yet. It's not the flashiest strategy. It's just the one that keeps working, year after year after year. Value versus volume. But remember what I said at the start? Sales volume is only half the story. By market value, what investors think this company is actually worth, the number 1 spot doesn't go to Toyota at all. It goes to Tesla. Tesla sells a fraction of the cars Toyota does. But Wall Street isn't just betting on cars, it's betting on software, batteries, robotics, and self-driving technology. So you end up with this genuinely strange split at the top of the entire industry. Toyota wins the factory floor. Tesla wins the stock market. 2 completely different definitions of biggest, 2 completely different winners. And that split is basically the whole story of where the car industry is headed next. So, which one surprised you more? BYD cracking the top 10, Hyundai's glow-up, or Toyota still holding the crown after all these years? Drop your pick in the comments. Subscribe if you want the next deep dive on how these companies are actually built, and I'll see you in the next one.